Hi everyone, Eric Lundquist here for a Tree Talk Tuesday. We're here behind the Haffners gas station over near Market Street. And today I want to talk about what parts of a tree are alive. So we've got this beautiful old dogwood here. And if you look closely down here, you can see all the way through the trunk. Now, I think if I had something like that in my leg, it'd be a little bit difficult for me to live my day-to-day life. But for a tree, it's not really so much like that. See, the parts of a tree that's alive is really the most outer part. It's got a layer of cells underneath its bark that's going to keep creating new cells and expanding the diameter of the tree. Everything on the inside is what's known as heartwood, and that isn't really alive anymore. I found a little diagram that might make it a little bit easier for you to see. All right, so what you can see in there with all of the holes in it, that is the heartwood of the tree. All of that is dead cells. At one point it was living, but as the outer bark and inner bark continue to create more diameter, these cells on the inside become dead. The ones that are closest to the bark aren't quite dead yet, and that's what's known as sapwood. That is where the tree takes moisture from the ground and takes it up to the top of the tree. Now, the inner bark underneath this chunky bark, and you can see it right here where it's healed a wound, that inner bark is what's taking moisture and nutrients and sugars that it's created through photosynthesis and storing them in special cells in the tree. So this outer bark is also dead cells. The only really living part of the tree is what you can see right here in the inner bark. And so when it has a really old wound like this, you may even eventually see it close up over it. Now, I don't think this dogwood has that much of a lifespan that you'd ever see that, but in larger trees, you can see big knots in them, and that is where the tree has had a wound that has caused it to die in a certain spot, and you eventually see that inner bark heal over that wound. It's really just growing into the space that the old wound left. So in earlier videos, you may remember we talked about how a dead tree can be a good environment, an ecosystem for lots of little critters. Well, here you can observe this tree is an ecosystem while it's also an organism. It's existing as both at once. I think that's pretty cool, and it's one of the reasons we really need more trees around this city. So if you want to find out more about our tree program, go to groundworklawrence.org and check out the Green Streets page. And while you're online, make sure you visit vote.org to check on the status of your voter registration. And if you're not registered, get registered on vote.org. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.